Alright, Happy New Year everyone. I'm Craig Chee. I'm joined by the lovely Sarah Maisel.
And welcome to our first installment of Cooking with Uke. This one is dedicated to Mary Agnes Krell.
Yep, so in today's episode we're going to learn how to make a Spam musubi. And we're going to introduce some ukulele tips to kind of practice while you're waiting for things to cook. Alright, let's get started. Let's go over what we need to make our Spam musubi. Of course, we need our Spam. Then we have our rice. We have brown and white. A lot of purists will lean towards the white, but we've actually been loving the taste of a mixture. Then we have our shoyu or soy sauce, golden brown sugar, furikake, which is our rice seasoning, eggs, and of course our Musubi Maker. So the first thing we want to do to start prepping is the rice, because the rice actually takes the longest to prep. So one little hint, one little secret, instead of needing to measure everything out, typically we use the old trick we learned in Hawaii, where if this is your rice pot in your rice cooker, you're going to add enough water so that when you add your finger to the top of the rice, you want enough water to go up to your first knuckle, as you can see there. And that's typically an easy way to kind of quickly eyeball how much water you need. Alright, so this is a mixture of our white and brown rice. Once you get everything in the pot and start cooking, it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes depending on your rice cooker. So Sarah's going to come over next and finish up the prep work.
Alright, now it's time to prep our eggs. I have 5 eggs in this bowl, and that'll make about 8 to 10 musubi. So let's talk a little bit about whisking and mixing your eggs. You want to make sure that you rotate your wrist. It's all about wrist rotation, just like your fast strum. So the more you practice that fast strum, the faster you will get at deshelling and whisking your eggs. And look, voila, they're done. All right, on to our next ingredient, which is the most important, the Spam. One of the biggest things to remember when you are cutting the Spam is that this can is not square. It is a rectangle, and you want to make sure your Spam pieces are cut the longest direction. You don't want short little pieces of Spam. I highly recommend using a Spam cutter. It's a lot easier, and you cut a whole can just with one push. All right, let's cut our Spam. Now, I always hold a finger here as I'm bringing this just to help give it a little bit of pressure, but you want to make sure you don't catch your fingers. Yeah. As you can see, using the slicer gives us these lovely even slices.
Alright, the next step is to prep our nori. Now, there's 2 sides of the nori. One is textured, and one is this nice, smooth, shiny side. You want to remember the shiny side is going to be facing the outside. So, texture side toward you, you're going to get a knife, and you're going to come down right down the middle. And as you can see, each sheet of nori will make 2 musubis. So we're going to prep some of these guys out, and then we're going to work on our mixture. Alright, so now for our soy sauce mixture or shoyu mixture, we're going to have a ratio about of 1 cup of shoyu for 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And we're going to mix it. And once we're set, we have pretty much everything prepped. We're going to be waiting for the rice. So at this point, you should have some time to play some ukulele.
All right, now that we've got some time on our hands, while we wait for the rice to cook, we're going to do our C scale. So we're only going to use 3 strings. We're going to use the C, which is the second one closest to your face, the E, and the A. All right, I'm going to call out fret numbers. Open C, 2. Open E, 1. 3. Open A, 2, 3. Let's try it again. Open C, 2. Open E, 1, 3, open, A, 2, and 3. Now we're going to try to make this a movable major scale. So I want you to take your index and place it above the nut. We're going to play the same scale, but using some different fingers. Ready? Here we go. Open C, 2. Open E, 1. 3. Open A, 2. 3. One more time. Open C, 2. Open E, 1. 3. Open A, 2, and 3. Let's take this shape and this idea and scoot it all up 1 fret. So now I am barring the first fret and pretending that is my new nut. Here we go. Let's give it a try. Barring the first fret and thinking of that as your open strings. Open C, 2. Open E, 1. 3. Open A, 2, 3. Let's try one more time. Open C, 2. Open E, 1. 3. Open A, 2, 3. Let's take this and move it all up another set of frets. So now I'm barring the second fret. Here we go. Open C, 2. Open E, 1. 3. Open A, 2, and 3. Now here's what we're doing. We started off when our index was down here above the nut. Our starting note was a C note. When we move the bar up, our starting note is now a C sharp. If we move it up to the second fret, our starting note is a D. So this means that you can play a major scale in any key that you desire. You just have to move your index and think of it as the nut. Now let's try playing our scale, and instead of barring, we're actually going to just let our index move across the strings. Let's start on the first fret, playing our C sharp major scale. Here we go. Open, 2, open, 1, 3, open, 2, 3. Let's move up to the second fret. Open, 2, open, 1, 3, open, 2, 3. All right, while you're waiting for the rice to cook, go ahead and start practicing this scale up and down your neck.
Alright, so we're going to start off with our eggs first to give them a chance to cool while we cook the spam. So I got my butter going. I'm going to add the eggs. Now kind of like scrambling, but we actually do want to have it kept kind of in layers. So I'm going to allow this to cook a little bit on the bottom. Alright, and all the excess we can run a little bit. At this point too, because we know roughly the size of our musubi, we can kind of start prepping little strip sizes. Alright, so let's get working on our spam. Alright, so after about 4 minutes, I'll do a flip and you can see some of that nice crusting going on there. Alright, so that should be just about it. Let's take a quick look. Oh yeah, that looks great. So I'm going to put it on the baking rack. At this point, we're going to let the spam cool for just a little bit, and then we're going to put everything together. Alright, so we have everything prepped. We have our spam, we have our egg, we have our rice that's finally done. We have our soy sauce mixture, our furikake, we have our nori, which is all cut up. So let's put it all together. So first, we are going to get our nori, again, shiny side down. Now, I place the Musubi Maker right about there so that when I have the tail end here, I want it to reach almost to the top of the side there. Okay, so right about there. So I'll start again, right about there. And we get my rice, which is again a nice mixture of that brown and white. And I'll lay that in here. Now the reason why we have the water here, the warm water, is actually to help get the rice off your fingers when we start going faster. Now, I'm gonna kind of pre-prep this to squeeze down just a little bit, get that nice and straight. I'm gonna get a spoon for the soy sauce. Alright, I'm gonna add a little bit of that sugar and shoyu mix to my rice, just a little bit. Add a little bit of the furikake. Get my spam. And then get my egg, which is perfectly gonna fit right there. And again, I'm gonna just dabble just a little bit more of that soy sauce mixture. Alright, so now get the cap, push it down. Now I'm gonna leave pressure in the middle and then pull the sides up and around. So we have that nice and square there. Again, I'm gonna start folding my musubi. I'm gonna dip my fingers in the soy mixture to kind of help seal the deal there. Alright, so it's gonna look just like that. Now I'm gonna let it rest. If you happen to be with a vegetarian, like some people. Now Sarah is a vegetarian, and so she won't eat spam musubi, but what I like to do for her is we'll start off the same way. Some rice. And what we're gonna do is actually give her a double portion of egg. So we'll start off the same, furikake, soy sauce, and I'll get 2 rows of egg for her. There we go. And there we have our egg musubi, right, just for her. Alright, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you guys had some fun. If you want to stay up to date on everything that we're doing, all our ukulele adventures, please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel or find us on Facebook.
Also, if you want to get some more ukulele tips, feel free to check out our online ukulele school at artistworks.com, or you can even go to our website for even more information.
Aloha.
Bye!